Bluff City Media presents The Anthony Sain Show on YouTube at Bluff City Media. Stepping up to the microphone is your host, Anthony Sain.
Acknowledge me.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to The Anthony Sain Show. I, of course, am your host, Anthony Sain. Got my boy, Kenny Stubblefield, across the glass. Kenny, what's going on, brother?
Man. Things are good over here, brother.
Yeah, man. A lot of stuff has been going on since the last time we talked. Man, I feel like...
Apparently, I'm your white conscience, Anthony.
Yeah, that's what people are saying.
Is that what people are saying?
Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah.
Let me just make this... Y'all look at this picture right now. Look at Anthony, all right?
Look at this dude, man. Look at this dude.
Clean.
Fresh out the barber
Fresh
chair.
out the barber's chair.
Yeah, freshly braided a couple of days ago, you know.
I'm not trying to sully this show with my ugly ass over here, okay?
If y'all wonder what Kenny looks like, he looks like Kevin Love. Y'all just wanted
Just a heftier version of Kevin Love.
Just imagine Kevin Love like up here with me. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, man. But it's been a lot going on, Kenny. I believe that I believe in the power of the tongue. I believe the power of words, Kenny Stubblefield. And last time we had a show, we had Tammy Sawyer on, who was a tremendous guest. That full segment of Tammy Sawyer, we're still working on getting that full episode out of just her segment. But in that segment we had with Tammy, she kind of manifested some stuff, man. She was saying some really positive things about how she felt the NBA should deal with Ja Morant. And it really kind of shifted my whole thinking, man. And it caused me to start tweeting some of those things out, Kenny, to help her manifest how we think that Ja Morant should be dealt with. And lo and behold, Kenny Stubblefield, today, Thursday, the day we record, I look up and Adam Silver comes on, and he just says something that just, I'm like, man, I really felt like Tammy Sawyer, like, intervened for Ja Morant in some type of way. Kenny Stubblefield. It looks like things are looking a lot less gloomy for Ja, and dare I say, things are looking good for Ja Morant. A couple days ago, Adam Silver, who spoke out before Game 1 of the final, saying that he didn't want to talk about Ja Morant's decision, but since then, Kenny Stubblefield
all over the place
has been on a worldwide media tour talking about
Ja,
taking all request interviews talking about Ja. Now, I will, in his defense, he said that he didn't want to talk about the decision. He didn't want to give out the decision because he felt like that would, put a damper on the finals, which it would have, because even without the decision, it's been dominating the news. Everything outside of the finals have been dominating the news. In finals that have been good. The finals have been very good to watch. So it just shows you the magnitude of this whole, Ja Morant situation. But he met with, he was interviewed by Stephen A. Smith, and Stephen A. started the whole, do you think he needs to be taught a lesson type thing. That was the verbiage, which I'm completely tired of talking about. I was completely over the teach him a lesson stuff. And I was so glad to hear Adam Silver echo that and say, no, this isn't a teach him a lesson type situation. We're talking about a person here. We're talking about a professional NBA player who we have an investment in, who's invested in this league, and we want to see do the best. And you just have to be careful about, using that type of energy, that type of terminology, and that we want to see Ja do well. We want to see him, do better from this. Kind of paraphrasing and adding on to a lot of things Adam Silver said. And when I first saw that, it made me like, hey, okay, Adam Silver, I see what you're saying. I'm with you. I see it. And then this morning, Kenny Stubblefield, Adam Silver was on the Dan Patrick Show, and all it broke open then, man. It broke open for sure. Dan Patrick asked questions about a super long suspension and these type of things. And Adam Silver was like, no, I don't think that a super long suspension where you're talking about half a season or 30, 35 games, whatever, full season, those type of things. I don't think that'd be beneficial to him. He said, I don't see how giving him more free time, really helps the situation, or how punishing him in that sense, makes it better for him. Just good old logical thinking, man. Logical thought coming out of Adam Silver's mouth today. And he also said that his plan is to basically set up something that gives Ja benchmarks, that gives him things he can check off, things he can get done. Basically, and it feels like, Kenny, like a lot of stuff that Tammy was talking about, and a lot of things a lot of people are starting to talk about, could possibly come into pass. It seems like Adam Silver has a plan where he wants Ja to work himself back into the game, where he wants him to hit these certain benchmarks, whether it be through, he talked about elongated therapy sessions, where it's a constant process, of getting Ja where he needs to be. I've said things I've said like this, I'd like to see implemented, like whether it be community service or volunteering or programs put in place or these type of things. A lot of things that Tammy talked about too. It feels like that's the way that things are going, Kenny. It feels like you're about to see a much more positive situation. And people have said, well, why does Adam Silver keep talking? I think I said this last week, or I said it somewhere, that it seems to me like he's preparing people for a reality in this Ja Morant situation that doesn't look as doom and gloom as a lot of people have put out. A lot of people have been hollering, for Ja's head, half a season, a whole season, all these type of things. And I think he realizes that, and he realizes there will be a lot of kickback if he does this non-conventional method of punishment and rehabilitation, so to speak, for Ja. And I think that he knows that that's something that if he had just put that out there, then people would have, wouldn't have understood it, and they probably would have slammed him for it. But now he's kind of feeding it out to people slowly, breaking it up into small digestible pieces and giving y'all hints of what he's about to do. And I think that as we're gathering these clues, gathering this information from him, that we see this is something that's going to be a lot more favorable for the Memphis Grizzlies organization, for Ja Morant, hopefully, and for the NBA, where they are giving him, where it's up to him when he comes back. Once we start seeing the improvement. And I think it's something else you're going to see too, Kenny. They're going to say, because he said this the first time, don't forget Ja's been on suspension ever since he did it. The Grizzlies suspended him the next morning. So he's technically been on suspension this whole time. And I think that they'll say, well, he's been doing this. We've been working, trying to get him to implement this, and this. And I think they'll try to say that he's been serving the suspension this entire offseason. He'll go into the season, continuing to try to strive for those benchmarks. And I think that we'll see Ja back in a much more timely manner than a lot of these people have been suggesting that he should get.
Well, and it's what I'm hearing is less about just punishment for the sake of punishment, but there are consequences for your actions,
right,
but there are growth opportunities as well. Mm-hmm. And that, how could we not want that for anybody?
Unless you're a monster.
Unless you were just a straight
jackass
dick that wants to just destroy people.
Right.
Like, if you're a Laker fan, I get it. You don't want Ja Morant to play. I understand that.
You might want to play for the Lakers.
You might want him to play for the Lakers.
Which you already talked about that too. These guys just want Ja,
right,
on their team with him.
But if you're a Lakers fan, I get you want to destroy Ja for the sake of your own team. I understand that. But as a human being, like in a human to human, which I think a lot of us, like, I don't know when all this has shifted, but it is a situation where sometimes we don't look at each other like we're human beings anymore. Mm-hmm. And that's what I've noticed about what Adam Silver is saying is Ja Morant is a basketball player, yes, but he's also a human being. He's also a father. He's a son. He's a brother. We want to see him grow. We want to see him develop. We want to see him be healthy. And that is, who doesn't want that for everybody?
Right. Yeah, and I totally agree, man. I think you're looking at a situation where Adam Silver realizes that Ja is not really the image he portrays. And you're not dealing with you're not dealing with somebody who's a threat to society. You know what I mean? You're talking about a guy who's just making bad decisions and he's doing things that are just making him look very bad. So I think that Adam Silver realizes this is something that's definitely salvageable, and you don't just want to just get rid of Ja. You want to help him get through this. And Adam Silver realizes that Ja is probably one of his most marketable players. Like I talked about the other day, nobody's lining up to go buy the Jason Tatums. They're out there. I can go on Nike right now and order though. I can go order Lucas as well. Paul George's shoes are extremely accessible. You know what I mean? These are all guys who have signature shoes. LeBron's, I can go in the store and buy those for the most part. Ja is an extremely marketable player, man. It's undeniable. And I really like what this isn't official. I'm not gonna make my victory lap yet. Kenny Stubblefield. But when it happens, just know that I will be.
You've been stretching?
Yeah, I've been getting ready for it.
You've been getting ready for it?
I'm getting ready for it.
What's the victory lap going to look like? That's my question.
I plan on going everybody who came with just the weird, wild energy against Ja, I usually block those. I blocked every one of them. Like people who just came at me with just, especially people who say racist stuff, and I'm totally gonna unblock all of them. Quote tweet some stuff. Check those receipts.
Yeah.
Get my returns. Check the return policy. Get on some asses, and the petty machete will be swinging in full blast for sure. But like I said, man, I'm not there yet. It definitely looks more towards team rational mind than team. Tell them about the gun line boss. The ridiculous takes that people have been crazy over the last month with this whole situation. But yeah, I'm not gonna take one yet. But also, I've noticed something else, Kenny.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Kendrick Perkins came out and he was ready to blast the city of Memphis, saying we need to get Ja out of Memphis. Ja's a bad influence.
No, Memphis is a bad influence.
Yeah, Memphis is a bad influence, those type of things. And something else happened yesterday, which is Wednesday, Kenny Stubblefield. And I think the common denominator is not the team or the city these guys play for, Kenny Stubblefield. Two of my favorite cities in the world. Of course, Memphis, the most beautiful land in the world.
Yep.
The place I call home. And probably my second favorite city, is one of them. But one of my favorite cities is New Orleans.
It's way up there.
New Orleans is one of my favorite cities for sure. Great food, very fun women in New Orleans. They like to have a lot of fun. A lot of fun. They call them hot girls.
Clearly,
yeah,
there's a lot of
a lot of fun women in New Orleans. I'll say that for sure. Yeah, those two of my favorite cities, and one of New Orleans' own. Zion Williamson got caught up in some stuff. And I started thinking, you know what? That proves my point. Because the common denominator is not Memphis. They don't play for the same team. It's not New Orleans. Ja doesn't play for the New Orleans Pelicans. It's just South Carolina connection. Talking about South Carolina peeps. We love y'all. Respect to y'all. But Zion and Ja have been the boys of summer so far in this NBA offseason. I'm calling it offseason. The finals still going on, but it's offseason for the other 28 teams. Zion Williamson is making it look hard out here, man. And the people he's making it look hard out here for, Kenny, are the trick community. There was a video that came out a few months ago where this brother was talking about trips to the Dominican Republic. And he said that the tricking has just got out of hand in the DR, Kenny Stubblefield. He said that you used to go to the DR. If you had you a hot $40, Kenny, you could have you a fun night in the Dominican Republic. The brother talked about it. He said, man, back in the day, man, not even 5 years ago, $40, you could have you a hell of a night in the Dominican Republic. He said, man, these dudes, these new dudes coming to the DR, man, they spending crazy money with these Dominican women. He said, man, y'all messing up the ecosystem. He said, we had a system going here, man. So y'all going out here spending money on these women like that. He said, they're not used to that type of money here in the DR, man. Y'all can't go over there spending that kind of money. Now y'all causing the price to inflate, man. Causing inflation because you're overpaying of these Dominican women. You know what I'm saying? So Zion Williamson, man, is really messing up the trick game for everybody. I'm not a trick, Kenny Stubblefield. I can't promise you that if I was a millionaire, I wouldn't be.
No.
I can't sit here and say that if I had the resources that the Ja Morants and the Zion Williamsons of the world had, that I wouldn't be. Seems like a pretty fun life, man, to be able to just...
Not this week.
Not this week at all, man. I grew up in a different era, Kenny Stubblefield. I grew up in a different era of NBA players, and I'm the first person to defend these young guys. I had a discussion at the barbershop today about the current generation NBA and how I think, these guys have survived in any era. Zion Williamson's tricking skills would not survive in any era at all. They are unacceptable, man. Just to be honest with you. I'm not going to get into details. I didn't even look into the details. All I know is in general is that Zion Williamson and his girlfriend, who probably looks a lot like the girl he's cheating on his girlfriend with, because that's the thing too. Like all these girls pretty much look the same. They got the same body, they got the same face, they got the same makeup, which is called a face beat, which is pretty ridiculous. But they all got the same face beat, they all got the same hair. But Zion's girlfriend, they had a gender reveal. And then this side chick, who's a porn star / IG model / OnlyFans content creator. I did a little research on this lady, Kenny Stubblefield. Went to research some of her work. And and I have this question to ponder, man. I have this question for you. I have this question for the audience, Kenny Stubblefield. What happened to good old-fashioned transactional relationships?
What do you mean?
I'm not going to kink shame Zion Williamson. The lady that he was hooking up with had a manufactured body, right? It was like totally made up. And I'm not going to, if that's his thing, brother, hey, I've done whatever. I've done worse. Do you. I'm not going to knock him for that. But with the level of power and money that Zion has, the pure thirst of the screenshots from the text conversations and the things this lady was alleging him, it seems to me that if I had that type of money, that a transactional relationship with this woman would be a lot easier than what Zion made it. Because it seems like he can say, hey, look, sign this.
Right.
Sign this. Let's get together on the 15th and the 22nd.
Speak to my assistant.
My lawyer. Yeah, my assistant. He'll set up your flight details, and I'll see you when I see you. Like, that seems like there would be, they used to have like these like introductory rookie classes for these dudes, like to teach them how to navigate through the NBA or whatever.
You think there was a trick and made easy class?
It seems like it should be a lot easier than what Zion shouldn't be going through this, man. It seems like you should have this type of thing. I don't get it, man. Zion, I'm disappointed in you. And we're talking about conduct detrimental to the league. Damn it, Zion, you may need more games or whatever.
Oh, no.
Because you're talking about the image of the league, man. James Harden never had these problems, man. What's my boy name that had us run through Memphis, man? His girlfriend had a girlfriend. What was his name? Lou Willville. Never heard these type of problems with him, man. Zion, you letting people down, man. Like, you just moving weird, man. Like I said, I'm not going to blame Memphis for Ja. I'm not going to blame New Orleans for Zion Williamson. Those are two of my favorite cities. No South Carolina boys, man. They got to get it together. I'm praying for y'all. Maybe we need to have some rehab for Zion, too, man. Put him.
Just sounds to me like Zion maybe promised some things to this young lady that he wasn't willing to actually follow through on.
It ain't that hard though, man. It's a this for that type situation. Like, look, lady, I'm not gonna play like I like you. I'm not gonna play like I'm your boyfriend. Sign this. Talk to my lawyer. Talk to my assistant. Your flight details will be set up. Okay, we'll see you. Like, it's so weird. But like, why are you? Like, he's moving like he's some dude that's like playing on the AAU team who's like never seen a woman before. Like, bro, what are you doing?
Well, and I mean, in this day and age, man, like, and not to sound like an old dude, but like you're dealing with people that make their living off of social media clout. And so when things go sideways, people are going to go to the social media. They're going to post it out there. Like, that stuff, there's no secrecy.
That's what I'm saying, though, Kenny. You can be picky. Like, there's a million women who got that same surgery, the same face as that.
I hear you.
You know what I mean? You know what I would do? I would go to Dixie Queen, and I would find some pretty girl that works there and just go, like, build her into, like, whatever.
Do you feel, is there any part of you that feels bad for Zion?
No, because he's a goof.
All right.
Like,
you feel bad for his baby's mother, the one that just announced?
Yeah, he got her looking dumb. I mean, but, man, I don't know.
It's just messy, man. Like,
I'm not going to tell that man how he needs to live his life. These NBA dudes are wild boys, but, man, you got to be a better trick than that, man. Your trick game is just sloppy, dude. It's disgusting, actually.
I think that man might be done with all that stuff at this point.
Yeah, he might want to sit down and be a family man.
You might want to go sit down there and take care of your family.
Go find your girl, Dixie Queen. Go give her a full surgery, whatever you want.
You know what they say? I think it was announced. Didn't he having a daughter, right? Like, that was the gender reveal. I think she's a daughter. I think he's having a little girl. You know what they say, man? If you're a dude and you have a bunch of little girls,
it's coming back on you.
It's God's way of saying, I'm getting you back for your hoe days.
Yeah, because he out there hoeing for sure. Tricking and hoeing. It's the best thing going. But yeah, we're about to take a break, man. When we come back, we got Parish Sharkey of the Let's Be Real Sports Podcast. Also covers the Memphis Hustle for Bluff City Media. He's going to come on after the break. Also, later on in the show, I did not set up the show very well at all today, man. We got Jamie Grant and Scotty Swanger from Attitude MMA Fights. Got a big show coming out this Saturday. Those guys are going to come on. We're going to talk with them about their show. Sure, it's going to be a great segment. Also, Inside the Same Brain is here. We're going to talk movies. We're going to talk summer movies. We're going to talk basketball movies. We're going to talk Spider-Man. I gave you guys a teaser. I said I had something crazy I was going to say about Spider-Man. It's coming in the final segment of the show. We will see you guys in a minute. We're going to have my boy Parish Sharkey here on the Anthony Sain Show.
What's up, guys? I'm so excited to announce that we have partnered with Coaching for Literacy, and you can read more about them at coachingforliteracy.org or follow them on social media at Coaching for Literacy. Your subscription to Bluff City NIL is 100% tax deductible because of our partnership together. Thank you for supporting Memphis Tiger student athletes and helping promote the monumental cause of childhood literacy.
All right, we are back on the Anthony Sain Show. I'm here with my special guest, my brother. His name is Parish Sharkey. He is the host of the Let's Be Real Sports Podcast, which you can find on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. He also is a Memphis Hustle reporter for this network, Bluff City Media. You can check him out on the Bluff City Media website. Once, the Hustle things start coming around, he will be covering that team, and he joins us now. Parish, what's going on, my brother?
Ain't not much, man. Appreciate you having me on.
Man, glad you could come on, man. Glad to have you in the building. This your first time being in the studio?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man. My guy, Parish Sharkey, I really admire what you do, man.
Hopefully not the last time.
Yeah, for sure.
Nah.
I admire what you do. You remind me of a younger version of myself. You really about to, how old you say you were?
31.
Yeah, I jumped into this at 33. So yeah, I see a lot of myself in you, man. You ain't as buck wild and shit like me on
chill.
Twitter. But yeah, you be real laid back. You don't really be with the buzz, the petty stuff I be on. But yeah, last night the Denver Nuggets took a 2-1 lead over Miami. The home court advantage is back, swinging Denver's way. Other than Christian Braun, who is not the man I expected to bust that game open last night. What do you think led to Denver taking that 2-1 series lead back from Miami?
Man, Mike Malone made adjustments. Really, he implemented their pick and roll consistently between Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic. And Miami couldn't stop it. He found a way to get through that zone defense. They picked it apart throughout the whole second half of the game. Jamal Murray got going early. They started back doubling Jokic again. The Miami Heat did for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Was effective when they didn't double him and hedged and made sure to try and eliminate Jamal Murray out the game. But last night, they went back to try and double him, and he picked them apart.
So it feels like to me that Denver snatched all the momentum back. Like it felt like after game 2 that Miami is like, oh, crap. Denver hasn't lost it, at home yet. So seeing them lose is like, oh, shit. Like, yeah, Miami might found something. And now with it now being 2-1, does it feel like it's Denver series now?
It does, but Jimmy Butler's my favorite player, so
I'm well aware.
I'm gonna die with him. I'm gonna die with him. So it does feel like that, especially with him. He feel like the ankle injury is still like he's still laboring that ankle injury because he's just very not aggressive right now. I'm trying to figure out what it is. So might be that. Might just be fatigue. I mean, he's carried this team throughout this whole process, this whole playoffs. So yeah, but it does feel like Denver, especially Jokic. I mean, that man.
Dude is a monster, bro. I was at the barbershop today talking to some guys that are my age and older, and they was like, not really throwing shade on Jokic. And I felt weird because I'm the guy who's thrown shade on Jokic for years. And I found myself being the guy that's defending Jokic. Like, nah, man, y'all are crazy. Like, that dude will be good in any area you put him in, man. Like, I don't want to hear anything about hard fouls or post play. That dude, like that guy's skill set, he would survive and thrive and be Jokic in any area you put him in. Like, and I had to give him his props for sure. We said earlier that you covered the Memphis Hustle. The Hustle, of course, is the Memphis Grizzlies G League team. This Miami team that we see in the finals has a lot of G League-ish guys that were undrafted or whatever. the main 4 guys they talk about. Do you see that level of player? Do you see anybody that's in our G League system, or just, the younger guys, the Zaire's, the David Roddy's, those type of guys? Do you see the Jake LaRavias? Do you see any one of those young guys, Ken Lofton too, that could be a guy who could be a guy that's called upon in the playoffs, like the guys you see, Max Strus, those type of guys that are playing for Miami right now?
Well, we already have, although we all give him hell. We already have one of them in John Conchar. He came from
he came. But he also was that playoff ready.
Exactly.
He had a nice little run in one of them games in the playoffs. I will give him that.
He's had a moment or two, but it's been.
He ain't out there looking like Caleb Martin,
right? Few and far between.
Right.
Out of those guys you just named, I believe David Roddy. I think it's just mentality wise. David Roddy has it, and I know. Kind of like you, I've been on your side with Zaire. I just know if mentally he's there. Talent-wise, he has it, but the mental part is a huge part in the NBA game. I just don't know if Zaire has it mentally. Same thing with Jake LaRavia, but I feel a little more confident in Jake LaRavia because he does have the skill set that can translate to a playoff performance. And Kenny Lofton has it. I mean, he has the skill and the mentality to get through it.
And see, that's something I'm glad you said too, because I had, whenever I would bring up Zaire in a conversation, and people always say, well, it's just a confidence thing with him. But confidence is an NBA skill, man. Does Gabe Vincent lack confidence? Nope. Does Caleb Martin lack confidence? Does Duncan Robinson lack confidence? Duncan Robinson was like a big-time player in the bubble for Miami. Fell totally out of the rotation.
Yep.
Was confidence an issue when they called his name up? You know what I mean? That's why it's like, that's the thing that people have to understand. You just can't throw, well, he just needs confidence. Because that means that's an NBA skill he doesn't have then.
Right.
Because those guys are ready. You know what I mean? Max Strus, have you seen him lack confidence?
Nope.
Dudes just kept shooting the ball. You know what I mean? And they've been tremendous. So I'm hopeful that we do have a guy that could do that. But, we'll see.
Yep.
Fast forwarding to the big team, to the Grizzlies, Adam Silver, over the last few days, has made a lot of comments. The man has sworn he didn't want to talk about, the Ja Morant situation. Right. But he's on a media tour right now, taking questions on Ja Morant. So what are your thoughts on some of the comments you're hearing from Adam Silver? And how do you think the suspension will work out with Ja?
Man, my opinion hasn't changed from the beginning. I always thought it was going to be a double up. 16 to 20. I still believe because of the new CBA, the 65 game thing. Right. I still don't think he's going. I don't think he wants to take that away from Ja to not have a shot.
Hey, well, you just cannot do nothing. Yeah.
And that's what 17 games if you do that. And Ja have to play all the games the rest of the season. But I'm pretty sure he's going to try to give him the opportunity. And it's coming last night. It should eliminate all the people who was thinking he gonna get half the season.
Off with his head.
Yeah, all of that.
Yeah, just kick him out of the league. Right. All that type of stuff.
But I've always thought it was double up. He got 8 the first time, 16.
Yeah, I was talking in the first segment about the positivity of it all, how it seems like the whole vibe, the energy around that whole situation is changing, where you can see Adam Silver kind of realizing that, this is a mutual benefit. Like, we need to make the best version of Ja be out there on the court. He's eventually going to get back to basketball, but will punishment alone help him? He needs punishment plus intervention, you know what I mean? So I think that's definitely a positive spin, and that's something I can definitely get behind. I'm not going to take my victory lap yet. I said that in the first segment, but it's coming. The Answer the Same victory lap tour will be incredible. Something else that's going around, it's the Chris Paul situation. As of today, he still plays for the Phoenix Suns. All signs are pointing that they will part ways with him, whether by trade or the most likely scenario, which is to be waived. Grizzlies fans were in an uproar when Chris Mannix said that he listed teams, as far as potential destinations. They had Memphis, up there. We were one of the first teams that he mentioned. And of course, the Grizzly fans came out and said, no way I'd touch Chris Paul. I'm like, all right, here y'all go again, this emotional stuff, man. Like, we did this with Steven Adams. We did this with Mario Chalmers. We did this with Matt Barnes. None of that stuff matters, bro. We even did this to an extent with Zach Randolph, because Zach Randolph used to be kind of a Grizzlies bully at one time. And plus his off-the-court stuff. So let's just stop saying who we wouldn't cheer for, man, because Anthony Sain, who hated the Clippers, that whole era, like, I was in the middle of that. If there's a situation where you can trade Tyus Jones to get a wing, and you can bring in Chris Paul on a reasonable deal to be your starting point guard to start the season because Ja's going to miss games. And then slide him back to the bench when Ja comes back. And Chris Paul is your backup. Y'all have lost, which camera are you looking at? This one, right? Y'all have lost y'all minds if y'all think that this emotional stuff y'all saying about I'll never cheer for Chris Paul. My black ass would be cheering for Chris Paul if he plays for the Grizzlies. Y'all get about here with that. So it's supposed to be a question, I guess. But no, we're going to move on. You have no response. No, seriously.
I'm good with it. Honestly,
it's crazy, man. What are y'all talking about, man? Anyway, go ahead, bro.
Man, when the news first came out, honestly, the Grizzlies were one of the first teams that came to my mind. It was the Grizzlies, the Celtics, who could use a point guard, the Lakers, of course, and even like the Pelicans, him going back to the team that he started his career with.
Right.
I feel like they
or the Clippers. I guess,
Yeah, it depends on what they do with Russell Westbrook. I think they might want to bring him back. But, yeah, Memphis, like you said, man, Ja, it all depends on what role he thinks he wants to play. If he don't mind becoming the backup when Ja comes back, it works. But if he's still thinking himself as a starter, then that's going to be
but this doesn't seem like a likely destination for him. I think it's all hypothetical talking. Yeah. But just to see Grizzlies fans talking about who they'll never cheer for, stop it. And speaking of cap, Damian Lillard, the annual cap master. Story came out where people were throwing out hypothetical trades and destinations for him. I can't deal with the Damian. I mean, it's every year, man.
Yep.
It's like Dame. Like either I remember old people used to say either take a shit or get off the pot. Like seriously, man. If you want out of Portland, say you want out of Portland.
Exactly.
Pull your people to the side. They'll make it happen for you, I'm sure. But I think with Dame, it's going to have to be a situation where they just say, okay, we have to trade Dame because he's not going to ask us out. You know what I mean? He's done all this hypothetical stuff, all this off to the side, subliminal stuff. I think I'm not the person who says he needs to go. I'm not going to say that either because I don't mind a guy being there that long. You know, I don't mind a guy showing that level of loyalty, but, man, just in the whole situation. So in the event that he does request a trade or the Portland decides to let him go, where could you see him going and that's realistic? Because that's those Supermax contracts make it so hard to move these dudes. Because you're talking about moving a $45, $47 million deal. You know what I mean? So where could you see him realistic? Where do you think he ends up next year?
It's tough.
Back in Portland or what?
Yeah, I think back in Portland because I just saw a notification right before we started about Chris Sain saying Boston is out.
Yeah.
He wouldn't go to Boston, which I kind of figured in a way I wouldn't see him wanting to go to a city like Boston. Miami would be the perfect fit.
But the trade what?
You trading? Tyler Hero.
The Struce in them.
Lowry,
right, like Portland ain't going to.
Portland wants something back.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
You go to, Philadelphia might be a target, but he'll have to take Tyrese Maxey. But I don't know. Has he signed his rookie contract extension yet?
He'd be nasty in Philly. Yeah, that would be kind of nasty for real. Yeah, I can see that. But we are, of course, joined by Parish Sharkey, host of the Let's Be Real Sports podcast. And he also is a contributor for Bluff City Media, covering the Memphis Hustle. You can speak to Gambit. You can talk about anything. I know you cover all sports. Penny Hardaway, of course, a legend here in the city of Memphis. I joke around all the time how Penny Hardaway has to be the only college basketball coach who's actually covered by his fans, like fans of his. Like I can't think of any other coach in the country who, like, literally fans of his are covering him. But two interesting things have happened since the last time we talked on this show. Number one, David Jones, 6'6" combo forward, averaged 13.8 points, 6.8 rebounds, committed to Memphis. Kind of a 3-4 type of player. Quick thoughts on that, as well as the information that we just came out today, actually before we recorded, that DeAndre Williams, his lawyer, says that they have concrete evidence that should help him get eligible, which includes emails and text conversations from people that were misleading him. So they're saying that. What do you think about those two bits of news and how it could affect Penny Hardaway's season next year?
Yeah, it can only help. I think David Jones definitely brings a real experience, wing type of player that could help out them. And I heard he's like a conference player of the year type of player.
Right.
And we got plenty of wings now. So and I don't know what's still up with the Mikey Williams situation, but we're still point guard and the center. I still have two most biggest needs. But with all the wings we have coming in, you can kind of
just throw the ball out there and just see what happens, man.
Yeah, you can kind of offset it. Although we've had problems without a true point guard in the past, but I think he'll find a way to figure it out. But getting DeAndre Williams back gets you like a much needed veteran that you will probably be lacking some. Like, you got a couple of transfers come in, but he'll be there, experience, been there, know the system. And I mean, he's a dog, so I would love to have him back.
Do you think anything comes out of this Michael Williams stuff? Do you think there's any chance that kid plays this year? Because it seems like I've seen a lot of positivity about it. People are saying I still feel good about it. I've seen some people say there's no way. They think Penny's just kind of extending a good gesture just for goodwill or whatever. Do you think there's a realistic? Do you think there's anything to it? That would be crazy, bro. If Penny make that happen, like all bets off.
I think I could see both sides. I could see him definitely playing because if he don't actually get charged and go to jail, then it's just all right. You just need to stay out, help to keep him out of trouble. It's kind of go back to the Ja Morant situation, like put him in place, help him, and like stay on track.
For sure. Well, I definitely feel you, man. I enjoyed you coming on today. This is, of course, I said, is Parish Sharkey. Y'all look out for him. He up next for sure. Very talented brother. Had to bring you on, man. We'll definitely do this more often. Keep doing what you're doing, man, for sure.
Definitely, man. Appreciate it.
All right, we're about to take a break. When we come back, we got we're going to switch up a little bit, do something we never done before. We're going to talk MMA with two guys who have an exciting event coming up this weekend, Ja Morant and Scotty Swanger from Attitude Fights. They're coming up next on the Anthony Sain Show. We'll see y'all in a minute.
What's up, guys? I'm so excited to announce that we have partnered with Coaching for Literacy, and you can read more about them at coachingforliteracy.org or follow them on social media at Coaching for Literacy. Your subscription to Bluff City NIL is 100% tax deductible because of our partnership together. Thank you for supporting Memphis Tiger student athletes and helping promote the monumental cause of childhood literacy.
All right, y'all, we are back on the Anthony Sain Show. Got special guests here on the show today. We're going to be talking MMA, specifically Attitude MMA fights. We got Ja Morant, the announcer, and Scotty Swanger, the matchmaker for Attitude MMA fights. They have a very exciting show that's coming Saturday night at 5 at the Memphis Music Room, which is a great facility. I've never been there for fights, but I've been there for other stuff. I think it's going to be a great time. Guys, what's going on tonight?
Man, we're glad to be here, Anthony. Thank you very much for bringing us on the show.
Glad to have y'all on, man. For
absolutely. Sure. MMA in Memphis is constantly growing. We've got some great fighters in this area, and hope to have an awesome show this weekend. Our matchmaker here has been working real hard to put some awesome bouts together. Scotty, what do we got on the card, baby?
Man,
talk about our main event.
Main event could be on any show across the country. Both these guys have been on Bellator. They've been on LFA. They've been on the biggest stages other than UFC that there can be. They've won on the big stages. They've lost on the big stages. And we're lucky enough to be able to get them to fight Saturday night. It's going to be a banger.
What's up, man? I'm excited to be there. You guys did welcome us out, and I'll definitely be there to check it out. I'm really excited to see it, man. So who are some of the like big names you guys have? Like, who should we look out for? Who are the guys to come out and see?
Man, in general in the city or just for this weekend?
Just for this weekend. Yeah.
For this weekend, T. Cummings I think T is somebody to watch.
That sounds like a brother. Is it a black man?
No, T is a he's
might identify
cornbread white boy.
Oh, okay. If he a white boy named T, he probably got some real hands for you for sure.
I think T is somebody to watch. He's amazing. All the guys fighting at a law school MMA. Who else on the card this weekend? Help me here. I'm blank.
Tyrese is from law school. So T's opponent, Christian, his dad was a Golden Gloves boxer. So he came up as like, we're going to box, and that's what it is.
Right.
So he's been doing it for a very, 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 very long time.
I'm taking a look at T. Cummings right now. You might have to edit that playing part out because like he nobody to play with at all. Yeah, for sure.
T was at my very first fight that I ever announced, and then I ran into him at the second fight that I announced, and I walked up to him and I'm like, hey, what's your name again? Are you a fighter? Are you a coach? He's like, man, I'm T. Cummings. I'm a fighter. You know who I am.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got to take that little part out, man. I don't want no smoke with T.
So he,
I never forgot him after that.
T made his amateur debut for me on like a week's notice and destroyed a guy.
Right.
He was a power lifter, so he just came in yoked up. He's like, I'll try it, and absolutely destroyed a guy. And he stuck with it. Now he's a pro. He's got 6 fights. He's the real deal.
So are they local guys, or y'all bringing guys from all over the country?
T is local. His opponent's from Alabama. That's just one of those fights like they're the same weight class. It's going to happen eventually. Let's just knock it out now. Our goal kind of as a promotion, we talked about it when we got here. We want Memphis guys in Alabama and Arkansas and Mississippi to be great here and then go on somewhere else. We're not trying to keep guys here for hey, I'm the
Right.
10-year Memphis champ. No, man, go to California, go win across the country.
Right.
Right.
Give them the stage here in Memphis, to propel them onto the next step of their career. So,
What's-
just a stepping stone.
T. Cummins is fighting. His last name is Eccles, right? What's his first name?
Christian.
Christian Eccles.
Yep.
Is he the guy
Vanilla
from?
Gorilla.
He's
You said vanilla
The
gorilla.
vanilla
Yes.
gorilla.
Damn.
That's right.
Anthony. Look at the card in front of you.
Yeah.
Look at his left eye. Does it look like he already has a black eye in that picture?
Like he ready, like he came pre-whoop.
Hey, these guys train hard.
I'm cutting a
man.
lot of jokes about dudes that can beat my ass though. I need to chill out, but yeah.
I'll point you out Saturday.
yeah.
Nah, see,
That's Anthony right there. That's him.
He said it.
That's funny. Man.
oh man.
So you guys, Attitude MMA has been around for how long?
Honestly, I think off and on for about 10 years. I got involved about 5 years ago. When did you come in?
Like a year before that.
Right.
And it's just constantly grown since
Right.
then.
We've it's been fun, man. I mean, we've done some shows at the FedEx Forum. We did a show down at the big arena down in Greenwood, Mississippi. Man, that was so much fun. COVID kind of took a little bit of a hit on us when everything got shut down, but
Right.
now that we're up and rolling again, man, the goal is keep putting these fights on, man. Keep giving these guys opportunities to showcase their skill set and, make them here or break them here or ship them off to something bigger and better. That's
Right.
that's the plan every time.
I like that whole mentality what y'all are saying about you're not trying to hold guys here, even though you guys are pretty. They're getting their start here in the city. Your goal is to get those guys out to the bigger organizations, the bigger leagues. That's what's up, man.
And
That's
it's
what it's all
not
about.
just MMA either. Like we do jujitsu. Like
Right.
we do like
Oh, okay.
wrestling. Like my 6-year-old wrestled on the show.
That was so much fun. That was one of the most hyped up matches ever. These two little 6-year-olds coming out, man, and
But it's
all the
about-
fighters walked out with them. It was so cool.
It's
to
about
watch.
what's
getting
up.
the sports scene. Like we
Right.
want all the martial arts to be seen,
Right.
so it can grow. If one kid sees it and picks it up, I want to go do that. Then his buddy sees it. Then that's how you grow the community.
Right.
So with that being said, it seems like it's a pretty family friendly show. Like
We try to keep it family friendly. You can't always
Right.
guarantee what these guys are going to say in the moment when they're all pumped up and amped
Right.
up on adrenaline. But we do our best. We do our best.
that was up.
You know.
That was up.
So what's the MMA scene like in Memphis? I mean, I know, MMA is almost kind of like Coke now. Like when someone says, I want a Coke, it could either be Dr. Pepper, it could be Pepsi, it could be whatever. When people think about MMA, they think about the UFC. But tell me, like, in terms of Memphis, like, is the martial arts and mixed martial arts in particular, have you guys noticed that becoming a place where young kids are starting to like say, hey, you know what, man, I used to think about basketball, I used to think about football, I used to think about baseball, but now I want to get into the martial arts, the mixed martial arts.
Some of the gyms have kids programs that are growing constantly, right? Some of them have, just the same group. It's all depending on location, where they are, what their population is like in the area. I think that if you're going to try to put your child into a sport that needs to teach them some self-discipline and teach them how to fail gracefully, wrestling, man, wrestling's where it's at. Jiu-jitsu is where it's at. It definitely adds a layer of toughness, thickens these
Right.
kids up a little bit, I think it's great. I think every kid should be involved in it.
That was up. I wish I could fight, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Anybody can take. Anybody can.
I can take an ass whipping, probably,
Anybody
but-
can do jujitsu though. Anybody can do
Yeah,
jujitsu.
man. I probably missed my calling, man. I could have been putting these paws on something.
Honestly, in a few weeks, I'd love to see Anthony come in here. I'd love to see Sain come in here with a gi on, like just that white cotton outfit with the belt and stuff. You could
Yeah,
do your
man.
show in
Yeah,
your
man.
gi.
I tell you what,
I might
listen.
do that, bro.
Any time you want to come and check out a class, I can take you to. We'll go to law school MMA, and I'll let you watch Brian the Law Hall and some of his team train.
So the guys who they train here in the city too.
Yeah, there's several gyms that train MMA. That have MMA programs.
That's what's up.
Law school is one. Shackelford MMA is one. You've got Memphis Judo and Jiu-Jitsu. Who am I missing here? Help me.
The Brawlers Dens in
Brawlers
Mississippi.
Den, down to Mississippi. Yeah.
They're everywhere, but it's back in 20 years ago, it was, hey, this guy wrestles, he's going to try to fight. This guy does jiu-jitsu, he's going to fight. Now everybody does everything.
Right.
They're doing jiu-jitsu, boxing, wrestling. They're doing all. So everyone's well-rounded. So it's no more of this, you probably don't remember the name Tank Abbott. He literally would go get hammered and just go fight and win money. You can't do that anymore. That's not how that works.
Right.
Because everybody's good everywhere.
Right. That's
it's a
what's up,
ball.
man.
Tank was one of my favorites until he started fighting. Didn't he get knocked out by Kimbo? Didn't Kimbo knock him
I think
out?
they got him off his couch for that. That,
Yeah,
was, that was
definitely.
rough. But yes, I do remember that.
Yeah, Kimbo thought he could just get in the ring too, got that ass knocked out.
I mean, and it's fun to watch some of these guys, and I've had the pleasure of announcing some of them in an MMA match, and then turn around, they're in a boxing match, and then Dylan Weinmiller is now fighting for bare knuckle. I mean, he made the gauntlet of boxing in this area, doing MMA in this area, and now is traveling with bare knuckle. There's opportunity here. This is just a stage to propel somebody to the next level.
That's what's up, man. Well, you guys, you see it, you heard it here. It's Saturday night at 5 at the
Saturday
Memphis
night
Music Room.
5, Memphis Music Room, 5770 Shelby Oaks Drive.
Nice facility, man. Used to be the old Shriners building. They just, Memphis, we just turn anything into anything. I'm just glad they got it before Red Hook got it, because it probably was coming for, or what's the place, Ken? The Halloween place?
Oh,
Spirit
Yeah.
Spirit Halloween.
I'm glad, yeah. It was coming. But also, we got a giveaway. We have 2 sets of 2 tickets. If you want those, all you have to do is the video you're watching right now on YouTube. Go in the comments. Put your Twitter account name, what your ad is. Put that in the comments. We're giving away 2 sets of 2 tickets, right, guys?
That's right.
So 4 people will be going to tomorrow's show. Well, I'm saying
Saturday
tomorrow.
show.
We recording Thursday, play Friday.
Oh, right.
You got 2 sets of 2. Put your Twitter in there, and it might just be you. We're gonna use the random Bluff City Media name finder to get y'all, get y'all in there. But we have 2 sets of 2 tickets. Put your Twitter account name in the comments if you're watching now. I will get up probably Saturday. What you want to do, Ken? Like Saturday at noon?
Saturday at noon,
Saturday at noon. I'll slide
There'll
in
be
your
a
DM.
DM. Yep, there'll be a
Yeah,
DM
we'll
in your
let y'all know.
inbox. I'm telling you, man, like y'all, if you're listening to this and you're watching this and you've not been to an MMA fight,
Because I'm going.
MMA fights are some of the most fun events, live events ever. I mean, basketball's fun, all that kind of stuff, but there's nothing more primal than seeing people fight.
Good word, Prime.
And it's wild, man. Like, it's a wild experience. So if you got something going on Saturday, you need to cancel and go to this Attitude MMA fight. It's going to be a blast.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Sounds good, man. Well, Jamie, Scotty, appreciate y'all coming in, man. We'll see y'all next time, man. Hope y'all have a
Absolutely.
great show. I'll be down there. Get down there, man. Memphis Music Room. Go check it out. Attitude MMA Fights. We're about to take a break. When we come back, we're going to go inside the Sain brain here on the Anthony Sain Show. See y'all in a minute.
What's up, guys? I'm so excited to announce that we have partnered with Coaching for Literacy, and you can read more about them at coachingforliteracy.org or follow them on social media at Coaching for Literacy. Your subscription to Bluff City NIL is 100% tax deductible because of our partnership together. Thank you for supporting Memphis Tiger student athletes and helping promote the monumental cause of childhood literacy.
All right, guys, we're back for the final segment of the Anthony Sain Show. Shout out to our guest we've had today, Parish Sharkey. Great segment with him. I'm really pulling for Parish, man. He's a really, really good young up-and-coming independent journalist. Like I said, I see a lot of myself in that kid,
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's incredible, man.
Listen, man, Parish is independent, but he's also BCM's got him, and we're going to be using him a lot, man. I love
For
Parish,
sure,
man.
for
He's
sure.
a good dude.
And see, I'm glad you said that too, man. That's one thing I do definitely give props to you guys at BCM, because you guys allow people who are independent creators like myself to be a part of something, an organization like this, a company like this,
But not be
still,
owned.
but still move how you want to move. Like, you guys allow us to just really stretch out, and I really appreciate that. I'm sure that Paris does as well. He's a great up and coming talent. Look out for him. We were talking about some things during the break, man. Maybe we might have, moved. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We ain't gonna really go there with it, but yeah. If you see Paris again, just remember where you saw him at first. No, I'm joking. But no, Parish is great. I appreciate him coming on today. Also, the guys from Attitude MMA, Jamie Grant, Scotty Swanger. Make sure you guys check that out. Again, on the giveaway, if you're interested in going, go in the comments right now. And just put your Twitter handle in there for the MMA fight tickets. We're going to pick 2 people Saturday at noon. You're going to get a DM slide. If you got that slide on out to check it out, because that means you won.
I said it during that segment saying there is nothing more. I mean, it is so fun to go see MMA fights, man.
Oh, I'm about to break my virgin for sure. Gonna be my first one.
Let me tell you, bro, you're gonna have so much fun. If y'all want to go out there and hang out with Anthony, man, Anthony's a blast. So y'all,
Come on out there, man.
Come on, hang out.
Man, a while out in that jump, man. Go buy your boy a beer while we down there, for sure. But we are now inside the same brain. Something I really want to talk about. Gonna be a little bit all over the place, but there are two basketball movies that are kind of in rotation right now that are. There's a lot of debate about who's the greatest basketball player of all time, Jordan or LeBron. And now you've got these two movies, the one about, not particularly a Michael Jordan movie, but about the Air Jordan shoe and how Sonny Vaccaro landed Jordan in the movie Air. And then there's another movie, Shooting Stars, that's basically about LeBron James and his crew of guys at St. Vincent St. Mary Catholic school that he played for in high school. I've seen both. Both are very good movies. I'm not going to say this as a sports bias, but those are two of the best movies I've seen this summer season. Two really good movies. Have you seen either one of those?
Yes, I've seen both Air and Shooting Stars, man.
Man, Shooting Stars was, I'll say this.
Was dope. Yeah.
When I saw Air, I was like, okay, this is pretty good. Like, this is a good movie. You got known actors, Ben Affleck, what's the other name?
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon was in that joint playing
Jason
Sonny
Bateman.
Vaccaro. Jason Bateman.
Viola Davis. Come on, man.
It was, star-studded cast. They pulled out the budget. Lot of the story. Some of the elements of the story were kind of fabricated. That's not really how it went down historically, but it was cool. It was a very good movie. I enjoyed it. But man, I watched Shooting Stars with no expectation really. Didn't really. I knew the kid from Stranger Things and the kid from not Scoot Henderson, because I'm gonna tell you, that was Scoot Henderson when I saw the movie until after the movie was over. It was the kid from Stranger Things and the kid from Cobra Kai. I knew they were in it.
Right.
So I was like, all right, whatever. Those are your two biggest names pretty much in the movie or whatever. And also my boy, it looks like Darian Newsom. The guy who he's in every black movie. The guy who played the coach.
He was in The Wire.
That dude.
Yeah, that guy. Amazing. I love him.
He was great. He's probably the biggest name in that movie. Yeah. So I didn't really have the greatest expectations. That movie blew me away, bro.
It did me too, man.
Like, I was like, this movie is not supposed to be this good. And I watched it with Gabe. And Gabe was like, Dad, that's the best basketball movie I've ever seen.
Well, let me ask you this. Was it weird for you kind of, because I mean, we're at the age, we were in college when that stuff was going down. All that was going down. The Hummer drama, the Oak Hill versus,
the Carmelo versus LeBron.
Carmelo versus LeBron story. Like,
and all this hype they were giving off a kid, because Kobe got the hype too. But that LeBron hype hit different, bro.
It's just different.
Yeah, that LeBron hype coming out of high school was insane. I remember cutting on ESPN. It was like, man, they're about to play a damn high school game on ESPN. Like, what am I watching, bro? Like, I remember saying that a million times as a I think I was like maybe 19, 20, something like that during that time.
Right.
And I remember like, bro, what are we talking about, bro?
They had Dan Schulman and Dick Vitale.
Right.
And what's his name? Bill Walton calling the game, man, on ESPN.
But to see it, the movie, the casting was incredible. Again, the casting was incredible. They had the kids when they were like 10, 11 years old. My son's 9, 10, 11 years old. Then they jumped when they were in high school. The little kids were great casting, and the older kids were incredible casting. Shout out to Scoot Henderson, who I was like, okay, this kid looks familiar. His hair was different, so I didn't.
Yeah.
Scoot Henderson was great. He played one of LeBron's teammates.
He played Romeo Travis.
Yeah, Romeo Travis.
Was
in the
he
movie.
not amazing? In that?
Bro. Bro, that movie was a lot better than what it was supposed to be, bro. Like, that movie really snuck up on me for sure. And also, Mookie Cook, who's one of the top players in the country, 5-star athlete going to Oregon commit. He played LeBron James.
First movie he's ever done.
Yeah, man. I was like, man, this is dope as hell. What's LeBron's wife name?
Savannah.
The lady who played Savannah. She was fine just like Savannah. I had to do an age check. She was 24. So I had to look.
So you can say that.
I look good and hard. I look harder when I realized she was legal, Kenny. She was 24 years old. And that's another thing, too. She was an adult playing a teenager, but they had actual teenage-ish kids playing teenagers. LeBron, the guy playing LeBron actually was the age of LeBron. Scoot Henderson, of course, is a high school player as well. The kid, Caleb, the kid who plays for Stranger Things, he's like maybe 21, 22. So they didn't have grown-ass men playing kids, which was man, it was incredible casting. There were parts in it that had me emotional. Dude, I'm not... This is not an ad for that movie. This is not a paid advertisement. But Shooting Stars was incredible. Please go check that out.
Was there anything that you learned in that movie that you didn't know? Did you know that they had the issues during the season?
No, I did not know about that. I knew it was something happened to LeBron something happened with him playing his senior year.
Is that jersey, jersey situation?
But yeah, I didn't know that happened. That he had to miss a lot of his senior year because of ineligibility.
And the guys were having issues like those. We hear those stories about the 5-5 and all those guys, and they're still buddies, they're still friends, they still work together. Drew Joyce was the guy who played, and I forget his name, but the young man who played Drew Joyce in that movie.
Caleb from Stranger Things.
God, man.
Yeah, he was incredible, bro. Hey, that dude, and I'm about to use him to segue to this next segment, too. The second movie I want to talk about, I went to go see this with my daughter Sabrina and Gabe, and it was Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. And what I'm about to say, first of all, Caleb, whatever that kid's name is, Lil Drew, or the dude from Stranger Things.
Right.
If they ever make a live action Miles Morales, Spider-Man, that's my guy. That's who I think should play that part.
So good, man.
He's incredible. He might have aged out by the time they get to that, though. But right now, I think that dude's an incredible up-and-coming actor. But shout out to Shooting Stars. All right, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I watched the movie yesterday, and I'll admit, I dozed off a couple times watching the movie. Not like I'm asleep and I wake up and we're in a totally different scene. I mean, like, split second dozing off. I was kind of struggling getting through it. But I watched the movie in its entirety. I'm going to say this. First of all, the movie was incredible. The animation in the first movie was beautiful. Kenny Stubblefield, I don't know if you've seen this yet. The animation in this movie is better than the first one. And that's saying something wild, bro, because the animation in the first movie was incredible. The animation in part 2 was insane. The story was dope. The characters were dope. In the last movie, they had the ensemble of the different Spider-Man from across the Spider-Verse. It was a cool team of people. This team might have been better than the team they had last time. And I'm going to say something here. I'm going to make a bold proclamation as we wrap up the show, Kenny Stubblefield. The Spider-Man Spider-Verse animated series, what they're doing with that series, I'm not going to spoil the movie, but what they're doing with that series is setting up to be, first of all, I'll say this, and I'll say this easily. I'm not even going to stress about it. That movie is better than a lot of stuff the MCU has brought out in the last 4 or 5 years. A lot of stuff that the MCU has brought out. Like, legit. And I'm about to say this. The Spider-Man Spider-Verse saga, this whatever they're doing, this series of movies they're doing, might be better than the Avengers Thanos thing. What were those 2 movies called?
Endgame and
whatever the other one was. Like, bruh.
It's a big time statement, man.
I slept on it. I told y'all give me 24 hours. I'm not saying it is. But once you see the movie, you'll see why I'm kind of talking in code. But what they're doing might be better than the whole Avengers thing. Bro, those movies are incredible. Now, I must make another wild statement too, man. My people of color, we ran out to go see Black Panther, the first one. It was good. Great movie. We came out again for the second one. It wasn't as good.
Tough to follow up on that.
Miles Morales might be the black superhero that we really should have been putting that energy behind, because these movies, it's killing Black Panther.
Let me ask you this.
Like, this Spider-Verse 1 and 2 is better than, the combination is better than Black Panther 1 and 2.
So you mentioned earlier about if they wanted to take it out of animation. Mm-hmm. Do you want them to do that? Or I
think the animation part makes it dope because there's so much more you can do creatively. Like, there are things that you can do that are silly.
Right.
That it's fine because you're watching a cartoon. I think live action really would hurt this. I don't think there's nothing. Bro, this movie is better than anything the MCU has put out in a long time, bro. And that's saying a lot because you're talking about an MCU fan. Bro, I got to give my boy Connor Dunn. I got to call him and see what he thinks. But, bro, y'all can say I need to sleep on it again. I'm telling you, bro, like what they're doing with this series is better than the in-game whatever Avenger stuff, and I love that stuff.
I gotta go watch it.
Bro, that mess is crazy.
I haven't seen the first one. Or
What?
the second.
Oh, bro,
I know.
bro.
I know.
I'm gonna let y'all have it though, man. I appreciate y'all for coming rocking with me today. Shout out to Parish Sharkey. Up next, my boy Parish Sharkey. Y'all go support him. Go support everything he's doing. Shout out to Jamie Grant, Scotty Swanger, Attitude MMA Fights. Like I said, if you want to go, just put your Twitter name in the comments. Tomorrow, Saturday at noon, we're gonna give away two sets of 2 tickets. 4 people will be going courtesy of the Anthony Sain Show. That's what you get just for tuning in, for listening and checking us out. We appreciate you guys. And until next time, this is Anthony Sain for the Anthony Sain Show, and we out.
Thank you for listening to the Anthony Sain Show. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. For comprehensive coverage of Memphis sports, head over to www.bluffcitymedia.co and find out how you can become an insider. We will see you back here next week.